Hi, this is Ronnie, and welcome to my channel. And welcome to Punched Out Thursday with Kathy, Krista, myself, and Dorothy. Only Dorothy's not going to be here this week. She is going to be here next week, though, on the 2nd, so make sure you watch for that. I'm going to scrap this picture of my grandson, and he has a penguin outfit like on. It's got a hat that's like a penguin with a fuzzy hat thing on top, a ball that's yarn that's all spread out. And he's got balls on the end of the string, and I'm going to try to recreate that with a punch art penguin. I'm using my 2-inch punch first, and I punched 2 of them out, and now I'm going to cut one down and make him a couple of wings. I punched the one, but I was afraid I wouldn't make the other one match, and so I'm cutting the other one to match with my scissors. And I cut a white, I punched a white one out, and that one is 1.5 inches, I believe that one was. But there is 2 black and 2 inches, and then the one that's 1.5 inches in white. And I put the wings on just so you can see them kind of hanging at his side. And this piece here is going to be his head, and it's 1.25 inches. And I didn't have a heart that fit right. I looked through my punches, and I have some heart punches, but none of them fit right. And that's a lawn fawn, I believe, die set. And I took the second to the biggest heart and punched it out. And I put that on there to use for his face. I used my holly berry punch that's Martha Stewart for his eyes. I just used the berries. And now I'm going to use a Stampin' Up! Arrow punch, and I'm going to punch the smallest one out for his beak. And here I'm going to trim it down. I punched it out, and I'm going to trim it down. I'm just going to kind of curve the top part there. I left the 2 little points on there, and I'm going to stick it on there. And it's still pretty tiny. It's probably smaller than the beaks of an actual penguin, but rather than make a long beak, I made it short. It's called Creative Liberties here. I did look at some penguins online, and you know that one animated movie that has that little guy and his feathers are sticking straight up on the top of his head. Well, I wanted to use that on my penguin, so there it is. I used that dragonfly punch, and I used just the wings and made some things that poked up there. See, here I looked at the feet because I thought, okay, what am I going to use for feet? And so I looked at the feet, and then I looked at my punches, and that maple leaf punch looked the most like the feet. So I am punching 2 of them out. Well, I'm punching 3 because one went flying, and no telling where that baby went. But the ends of his feet, his toenails are black, so I am going to use some black soot on the end of these maple leaves, and I'm going to put them at the bottom of the penguin to use for his feet. And here I taken my little brush, and I'm going to make rosy cheeks for him because he is out there in the cold. Even if he's a penguin, he is out there in the cold. So I went ahead and made him some pink cheeks. I'm just going to glue these leaves on the bottom where like 3 parts show of the maple leaf. And I think that's it. Oh, no, that's not it. I make a scarf for him. Oh, and I do dot his eyes. And I'm going to put 2 nostrils on there with the black I think that's a fine point Sharpie is what I ended up using. It's the first thing I grabbed. But I'm going to make him a scarf. That's why I had these 2 4x6 cards in there. I couldn't make up my mind which one. And then that one over there to the right. It's real uniform on the polka dot. So I decided to go ahead and use this other one that wasn't quite as uniform. And I'm just going to cut this apart and make it fit. Oh, and when I punched it out, the edges showed a lot of white, where it kind of chewed them up just a little bit. So I pulled out tea-dye ink, and I'm going to, I am going to ink all of them. I already inked this one. I am trimming that to fit, and then I'm trimming the other part to fit. And then the other 2 pieces, I'm going to have one left over, 1 leaf left over, are going to be the part that's hanging down on his scarf. And of course, after I trimmed it, that made me have to ink it again. I am trimming this around, and I'm going to put one where it's kind of sitting underneath the other one, and then that way it adds a little more length to it. And then I'm going to get me one of those, I think they're 1/8 inch punches, which are just the normal punches you use with in the office or something. And I'm going to put balls on the end. But I am going to ink them with the tea dye ink since his belly's white and they're white, and I wanted it to show up. If I had thought at the time, I would have punched out some of those circles that are on the scarf, on that piece of paper, so I could have had colored balls on the end, because his are colored on his hat, but I did not think of that until I was watching the video. And of course, the feather sticking up on his head reminds me of the yarn that's sticking up on Landon's head on his hat. And that's why I wanted to make the penguin that had the feathers sticking up. When I was looking at the pictures of the penguins, some of them had black feet and, some had orange. I do not know if the ones that had the feathers sticking up had black or orange feet. I just made him the way I wanted to. I thought he'd look cute with orange feet. Like I said, I could have used black though, and it still would have been accurate. This way, his feet match his beak, and I've got orange on my layout. Well, counting on the picture, Landon's picture 3 times, so that's pretty good. That's an odd number. And this paper here is some that Jennifer gave me. It was in the Mambi Christmas kit, and it does have little dots all over it, but they're just a shade darker than the paper, so they don't show up super great on the video. Of course, they might on TV or something, but the screen I've got on my computer is not super big, and so it looks like a solid sheet. Oh, and this paper that I used here for the trees, soon as I seen it, I knew I was going to fussy cut them. So yeah, I fussy cut them, and all but one I think I went ahead and put on white cardstock, so that if I wanted to layer them, they would layer better, because it is the thinner paper. And and here I am making me a border. I'm going to put a border at the top of the red paper, and I'm going to put a scallop border, and that's what I'm going to do right now, is make the scallop border, and yes, use another punch at the bottom. But I am going to end up going back to that border sheet and cut a couple of more pieces so I can put a piece at the top and the bottom of my page. Right now I brought my trimmer back up here so that I could trim the edge of my border, my scallop border down, so I'll be able to put it, well, I'm going to kind of tuck it underneath that red paper. First I'm putting down this part. It's got more of the border on it. It's got several colors. So I'm putting it at the top, and there's a bigger space at the top. By the time I put this on and put the green scallop border on, the space at the bottom is going to be smaller. So I'm having the wider border at the top. I only put adhesive on the top part of this paper so that it wouldn't stick at the bottom while I'm trying to line up the top part. And then I just put one little line, and I didn't put it all the way to the end, so I could slide the scallop border underneath it. And there is excess on the end here, and you will see it's very, very thin piece of paper, but it did get trimmed off, and this trimmer does a really good job of it. I'm just catching the edges that I didn't get before. And I'm going to double mat my picture. It's in green and white, and I had a hard time deciding if I wanted the green on the inside or the white on the inside, and I finally decided I wanted the white on the outside. Yeah, it took a while. I couldn't decide which one was best, but then I got to thinking, the trees have green, and I'm going to have a couple of them cuddled up there next to him. And so yeah, I finally gave up and picked the green to go on the inside. I am putting some of these, well, I think only 2 of the trees are going on foam tape, and then of course the little penguin's going to go on foam tape too. This one is going to go on foam tape, and then I'm going to snuggle in the other one right behind it, and it's going to go straight down on the paper. And it's the smaller of the 2, so it looked like it was in the background, and then the foam tape's going to help the other one look like it's in the foreground. I didn't center my photo because I wanted it to, well, I wanted it to be off center, but I thought it looked better that way and only have 2 trees on one side and then the rest on the other side with the penguin. And I think I like how it turned out. I like these trees a lot. They were a great fussy cut item. And it seems like anytime I get a page that's got something that's good to fussy cut, I fussy cut it. I don't think florals hardly ever just make it straight onto my page. They generally get fussy cut and placed on there the way I want them to go. Yeah, and that's what's happening to these trees. They're going the way I want to on here. I did save some. I didn't fussy cut them all out. I can use them on another layout. Who knows? I might just go ahead and put that piece of paper down the way it is. You never know. It depends on what I get in my head to do with them. Here I adhered that one down straight to the page, and this one here is going to go down too because you seen me get the penguin and I placed it on top of it, and I know I want to put dimensional tape underneath it, and I was determining if I had enough room to put the penguin down and have foam tape underneath the second tree or not, and I decided not. But this one's going to go straight down, and then the last tree is going to be on foam tape, and so is the penguin. And yeah, I like the dimension that it adds to the page, having part of them on foam tape and part of them not. Leave a comment below if you like the fussy cut or if you don't. I'd like to see what the results are. I don't mind it myself, and I like to do it while I'm watching TV, and then that way I've got my mind more on the TV than the fussy cutting. Kind of like some people do with, crocheting or knitting. I like to fussy cut. That way I've got them on hand to use on my scrapbook pages. Tell me what you do, if you fussy cut or not, and when you fussy cut or not. And sometimes my TV, well, most of the time, my TV is YouTube videos and watching other scrappers. Like while I'm doing this right here, I am listening and glancing up at the TV, and it is YouTube scrappers. Yeah, I get to watch their layout processes and layout shares. I cut a strip to put up there at the top, but I'm also going to cut one for the bottom, and I was determining which end I wanted to get it from, and the top one seemed kind of wide, so I decided to get it from the bottom. And my intention when I cut it was to just put the green on there and cut the white off, leave it hanging off and cut it. But once I laid it down, I said, no, I think it'll be all right. So I just went ahead and slid it along there, and I didn't have anything to cut off the bottom. I pulled out these Happy Life stickers for my title, and I think I already said I got a phone call from my sister, and I was off of here for a while. But I think I said that my daughter-in-law picked this title. It's what she put with it on her Facebook posting way back in 2011. That's why I put 2011 down there. And it's just Hello, Mr. Penguin. And so, yeah, that's all my title's going to be. And here I'm using Dylusions White. And I'm just sprinkling on here so it looks like snow. I know it don't look like a night sky because it's red. But another creative liberty. Yeah, I liked it, and it was in the package. And so, yeah, it's going on there. And it goes great with my picture. So it was perfect. I got red and green and white on my layout. But that's it. That's my layout. I had to stop the video right then because I noticed it was still upside down. So I had to do the rotate thing. What a relief. I hate to have it uploaded to YouTube before I notice it. And that has happened. Plus, I've not noticed it. And it stays uploaded upside down. But yeah, this time it's the right way. And I don't know how I went so long without noticing it. But I did. Here's my close-ups, and I'm showing the dimension on the trees, and you can see his little outfit a little bit better right there with the balls on the end anyway. And there's my penguin, and Yeah, that was fun to make. I enjoy punch art. And if I'd made him with oval cutters, he wouldn't been quite the little roly-poly as much with them. But I like him the way he is. You can see right there where, the penguin's got the tufts of feathers sticking up and Landon's got that ball sticking straight up. You can tell they matched there. And I also put balls on the end of his scarf like there is on the end of Landon's hat. So, yeah, I made him match. And oh, and that jacket has penguins all over it, if you can't tell. If you're on a phone, you may not be able to tell. I can't see as good when I'm on the phone. I'd rather watch on the big screen TV. Of course, then I got to go back and get my computer or my iPad out one and make comments. Well, I have done it on my phone too, but I'd much rather do it on my computer and have all my fingers working at once instead of punching one letter at a time. I'm not much on texting either. But that's my layout. Be sure to check out Kathy and Krista's channels. I'm sure they got something awesome to share with you. And I'm done rambling. I am going to sign off. So if you want to leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. If you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. Thank you so very, very much for watching. And we are going to have drawing soon. And so be on the watch for that. Bye.